Shante. It's time for our Man Time Moments with Elder Reggie. We do it every Tuesday. And welcome back from your Thanksgiving weekend, Elder Reggie. How are you?
I am wonderful and glad to be back and had a great time. I hope all of Nashville had a wonderful Thanksgiving time with family and friends
Yeah.
because we had a good time.
Did you eat too much or just enough?
Of course, no, I ate too much.
Okay,
I was not disciplined. I did not hold back.
If you're going to do it, do it, right?
If you're going to do it, do it.
Well, good. I'm glad
So
you
I
had
did it.
Good. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed your family. Well, welcome back. And it's our first Tuesday of the month. 2019 is wrapping up. But I do always like to let you share why we do this segment.
Yes, we do the Man Time Moments, again, to encourage men, to help build men up, to help build up families, to strengthen and encourage marriages, and to help all of us to go on and go forward in the things that God has called us to in His original plan, because His plan, His original intent has never changed.
Amen. Amen. All right. Well, let's jump into our topic today.
Well, our topic today is come out of the cave. Come out of the cave, because men, we all have that cave. Now, most of us would, if we don't have, we would love to have that man cave in the home, that place we go to get away, where we've got sports paraphernalia or the art that we like and our television and our stereo and our music, and we shut off from the world and just get away from everything.
I think some women like that.
Some women like that too?
Maybe it's called a powder room, not a cave.
So it's really not the she shed.
Right. It's called something
Called something else.
I think women like that too. But I got you.
But we as men, we can actually go into a cave without having a room. We can go into a cave or the shell within ourselves, even being in a room with many people.
Wow.
So we can still disconnect and go into a cave. Now, in the man cave, whether it is a physical room or whether it is just inside our own mind or inside ourselves, we find solitude. We kind of, go to that place, sometimes just that place to think, that place to get away. It's also a place to escape. And we escape from different things, but what is one of the main reasons we escape? A lot of times we escape, and we don't really look at it as this, but a lot of times we escape is because of fear. Because of the things that are going on in the world. If I can just get away from it and break away from it, I don't have to deal with it.
Wow.
And for the brother, and this is not a beat up men show, but for the brother who's not doing it, if I escape long enough, then the wife will take care of it. So I don't have to face it when I come out. And again, whether I come out of my own mind or whether I come out of that room. But we're not talking about that brother today. We're not talking about that fear. We're talking about the brothers who are doing things, but there's still a fear attached to it, even when you're doing things. And with that fear, and again, we're going to use one of my scripture heroes, which is David, and talk about the fear that David had. And we said, wait a minute, fear that David had?
Right.
David, this brother killed a bear, killed a lion, killed Goliath, cut off his head, presented the head to the king, then played music for the king, was awarded a king's ransom. The king's daughter, family no longer has to pay taxes. He was brought from the field to the palace, all in one big swift thing. But then it was that same person, the king, that person in authority, that brought the fear. He was the source of the fear. In 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 1, it says, David therefore departed from there and escaped to the cave in Adullam. David went into a cave, but he was escaping from Saul.
Right.
But not just David. So when his brothers and all his father's house heard it, they all came down there with him. So Saul got everybody scared.
Yeah.
He's got everybody scared. Now, it's all about a jealousy in this story. Saul is jealous of David, because, the girls ain't wearing Saul's chain no more. They wearing David's chain, and they singing David's song. Saul killed his thousands, but David his 10,000s. And Saul got jealous.
Yeah.
So because of something David did in his past, which was a good thing, actually, it brought a fear on. It caused him to have to run for his life. But what this story also illustrates, or just this one verse illustrates, is that when the man is in a place of fear or in a place of uncertainty, it affects all those around him. It still affects everyone else. So when we go in that cave and we think, I'm just doing this alone, let me take care of me, and those say, let me escape and get away, it's affecting those who are outside the cave. It's affecting the child that wants your attention. It's affecting that wife that needs your help. It's affecting that brother down the street that needs some assistance. Brother may just need to borrow a ladder. But you're not available because you're in yourself. You're in your feelings, as some people would say.
Yeah, this real quick. I was just going to say it's reminding me of the stories that you hear of people who say, my father was in the house, but my father wasn't in the house. He's there every day. He's providing, but he wasn't there. So there's this void. There's this emotional connection that never happened. Even though the father was in the house every day. Yeah,
he was present, but he wasn't present.
Right.
And like you said, that connection is so important and so needed. So because of something in our past, and we can be the kings of some statements about our past. Because there are things that we do. It's not always about things that happen to us, but there are things that we do. So we come up with the statements of, just let it go. Can we just let it go? Come on, that's over. And the big one, one of the good ones is, are we still talking about that?
Yeah, it was never resolved. We still talking about it.
Are we still talking about that? But the solution is most of the time just in our mouth. The solution is right here. We'll quote and we'll spiritualize and make it a high statement. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. That's for healing and for miracles. But what about for an apology? Yeah. That the life of your family, the life of your unity in your home, the life of your connectedness to, again, your children and your spouse, your friends, is in your mouth. Brother, sometimes just simply ask for forgiveness. Just ask for forgiveness. It's right there in your mouth. Secondly, forgive yourself. See, there are things that we've done. There are things that we didn't mean to do. Intentions were good, all that. But there are things that, there are brothers out there. I know there are brothers out there. Yes, you got the divorce. You messed up on the job. You spent some time in prison. You made some bad choices. It's not always about what happened to you. And you haven't forgiven yourself. So forgive yourself. It's time to move on. Come out of the cave and let's move on. Let's not get stuck in, well, if this hadn't happened to me. Well, that did happen to you in your past. Now let's take a look at the present and move on to our future. And thirdly, forgive those who hurt you, because you have been hurt. There have been things that come at you. In this story with King Saul and David, Saul chased him for a while. But there was another time that David was in the cave. Saul came into the cave, and David snuck up behind him and had, as they say, got the drop on him. David had the drop to kill him, to take him out. This is the man that's trying to kill you, that's got soldiers after you, got your family on the run, has killed an entire village because they didn't come and tell him that you were there. So by the time you left, he went down there, and because they didn't tell him, he just killed everybody in the village. This is that dude. You got him dead to rights, and David let him go. But he let him go because of his respect for God. Not necessarily his respect for Saul, but his respect for God's anointed is what he said. I'll not touch God's anointed. So forgive yourself of the things that have happened, that you've done, and forgive others of those things that people have done to you. And let's move on to our present. Brother, we have to be present. So when we go into the cave, just as we just said, you're present, but you're not present. You're not facing the day. You're not dealing with the things that's happening to you right now, or happening for you, or what you can affect to change the future, or what you can affect just to make this moment. Just as Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day, I hope you were present. You know, we were present. We had one of those great round tables of men from 18 to 60 years old, sitting at a table together. Perspectives, and we solved all the problems of the world in that conversation. Yeah. But we were all present in the moment. Yeah. Honestly, there were cell phones there, all laying on the table because the conversation was that good. So, brothers, come out of the cave and get in the moment. You must answer God's call. Answer the call of the day. And a brother asked me once, how do I recognize God's call? Well, brother, there's that thing that's in you that you feel it, you can't escape it. It keeps gnawing at you. You may have gotten away from it for years, but it keeps gnawing at you. And you say, man, if I had the funding, if I had the backing, well, when I was younger, I would have. And what I'm saying is, if you're still alive, it's because God's not through with you yet. And if that thing is still on your mind, if it still comes up, then that directive, that business, that service, that gift, that talent, that thing that's in you, God wants it done. He wants it done. See, for God's agenda to be done, it doesn't take a long time. Jesus lived 33 years on this earth. Only about 3.5 years of actual ministry, of day-to-day, full-time ministry on the earth. Secondly, you'll know what that call of God is because people will call out your gift. See, listen to people. People will say, man, you're good at that. Yeah. Man, I called you because I know you can do this. Yeah. And you're like, no, I don't know why. I don't know why you called me. Yeah. Well, I called you because you've got this. You've been through it. You can do this. You can help me with that. But we sat in the man cave full. We just full and fat. Yeah. We're full and fat because we're not sharing anything with anybody. We've separated ourselves. So we're full of potential. We're full of promise. And we're full of solutions.
So how do you break that? How do you, what are some suggestions from you to change that? A lot of us obviously are products of our environment, of the way that we've grown up. And so a lot of men have, seen their fathers, maybe kind of just dismiss their mothers. Yes. Like you say, we still talking about that or, yes. Just trying to minimize her period,
okay. Yes.
And then also using the cave, whether it's internally or a physical place that you created to get away. And is there anything wrong with doing that sometime? Or, should they not be doing that at all? And if they are doing that, is that a good reason? I mean, like you say, you're missing out on so much.
But great question. I'll answer the back of it first. Yes, it's great to get away to recharge. Mm-hmm. It's great to have that place of getting yourself together and getting your thoughts together and things like that. Years ago, I sold cars. And in car sales, we worked a lot of hours. So I was 60, 65 hours a week. So there was so many days that 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock before I got home. Wow. But when my girls were younger, when I came home, they would basically attack me at the door and just dive on me and all that. And one day, just tired from it, I was like, give me a second. And their faces just dropped. Aww. And, I didn't realize it until really about an hour later because now I'm telling them, come in here. What are y'all doing? And they wouldn't come out of their room. Wow. So with that, once I got that revelation, I said, okay, this is what we'll do every day. Let me get in the door. I'll get in the door, put my stuff down, and I would just dive on the floor. And they jump all over top of me and tickle me and punch me and all that. And they got their feel for 30 seconds to a minute or so. And we laughed and giggled and wrestled. And then they went on and they let me have that time of getting my thoughts together and taking off the day and all that. So there's nothing wrong with having that place to go away and to get away to recharge. But you've got to come out and then engage. And the way we can begin to more engage, first of all, as we've talked on this program before, is understand that wife that you have is your helpmate. So you've got to share with her. You've got to give her the things that are on your mind, the things that, you've thought about, you've contemplated, that's bothering you. If there's any place that you're going to be vulnerable, you can be vulnerable with her because you all are one. You all are in this thing together. This is, my house, this is Team Holder. Holder Incorporated. We get time to have a board meeting. Let's what they call a SWOT meeting, our strengths, weaknesses, assets, threats, all those things. You have those meetings with your wife. From time to time, you have them even maybe daily. Where you sit at the table and just talk, and you get it out, so you know that you all are doing this thing together. And that will change. And even for the brother who doesn't talk that much, I'm just a quiet kind of guy. Okay, just start with that one thing. She may have 15 questions, and you say, "Babe, we're gonna talk about one thing." We used to not talk about anything, so let's talk about one thing at a time. And tomorrow we'll talk about this, and the next day we'll talk about that. But you all begin to work together on these things, and she doesn't feel alone, and you're not handling it alone, because we do have that in us also. Sure. I can handle it, I can do it, no problem. I'll fix it. I'll take care of it.
When I come out the cave.
When I come out the cave. When I come out the cave.
Okay. Good stuff. All right. Well, that's some good nuggets. Hope everybody's taking mental notes. And I mean, it makes sense. And, again, we're creatures of habit. But just because you've been doing something for a long time doesn't mean it's right. We can always get better, improve.
We can always improve.
2020 is a whole new decade, and we want to elevate our relationships, our thinking, our relationship with Christ. I mean, I just think it's time for a whole, I was going to say 360, but 180.
Yes, that 180, yes.
Next level. So good stuff. Thank you so much, Elder Reggie Holder. Where can people connect with you, book you for speaking, and also purchase your book?
Again, I can be, you can find me on all social media at Reginald Holder Ministries. The website is reginaldholderministries.com. The book is As One, Like Christ in the Church, and it can be found on Amazon and at the website. So please call me for any of your events, men's events, men's prayer breakfasts, conferences, just whatever. Be glad to come and share the things that God has downloaded to me.
All right, very good. Thank you. So we'll do it again next week.
Next week.